And good afternoon from KTLA. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm Frank Buckley, and we have some news from the KTLA family, which is shocking and hard to comprehend at the moment. We have the profoundly sad duty to report that our friend and colleague Sam Rubin has died. Our hearts, as you can imagine, are broken. Quite simply, Sam was KTLA. From his time on the KTLA 5 Morning News to the many award shows and other shows that he hosted, his laugh, his charm, his caring personality. To all of us he shared his mornings with on television, and to those he worked with behind the scenes at KTLA, we will not forget him. The role that he cherished most was husband and father. His wife, Leslie, his kids, Perry, Rory, Darcy, and Colby. Our thoughts are with you and the rest of Sam's family, our KTLA family. We share, of course, in this sadness, and we had to report this to you here in Southern California. We're going to be sharing more as we learn more. We have waited to broadcast this news until we made sure that Sam's family members have been notified. But our friend and colleague, Sam Rubin, was 64 years old and has died. This is the moment when Sam would know exactly what to say.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of stories that he excelled in and could say the right things about someone and put someone's life in perspective.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you for reading that.
Yep. Yeah. But you can imagine, I know you guys have been on the air, but the newsroom, the station is filled with great sadness.
Yeah.
And it just a shock to all of us, because he was here yesterday with us.
Yeah.
And then called in sick. Mm-hmm. And then we learned the news this afternoon. So we're not really sure what the circumstances are. We're having to report this story as a story. And our newsroom is now trying to get the details of this horrific story that touches us so closely. But that's what we know at this point, is that Sammy is gone.
And as we all know, that's where he sits.
Yeah.
Where you're sitting.
Yeah.
So, and bringing so much laughter and smarts.
Yeah.
And joy.
No one could do it like Sam.
Yeah.
Sam was so good. Mm-hmm. He was truly just off the cuff, an incredible broadcaster, and could reach out to people and talk to them in a way that I think a lot of people try to emulate and wish they could.
The Sam that you saw on the air here is the Sam that was off the air. And, for those who might speculate that he had some sort of a secret life and that this was a death that occurred in that's not that's not our Sam Rubin. Yeah. Sam lived life to the fullest, but he was not someone who would ever touch a drug, or barely touched a drink.
Right.
And we don't know what exactly happened, but we know that it was sudden, because he was here yesterday at this, not just over 24 hours ago. We were sitting with him right here on this set.
And Frank, you touched on his role as husband and dad as well.
Yeah.
And if Leslie's watching, we're totally with you right now.
Yeah.
Sam would go camping for days. He hated camping.
Yeah.
He would go camping with
the
his
Scouts.
children,
Yeah.
with the Scouts. He would ride a bike for 2 days to raise money for MS.
Yeah.
Like he gave back to the community, and he was just always positive, and here late a lot too.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to bring in Eric Spillman, maybe his closest friend on the staff here. Spilly.
I just can't believe that we're reporting this. I mean, it is such a shock. And you're so right, Frank. I mean, he always came up with the right words whenever a famous person passed away. He had the most touching and moving obituaries that he would write, put their lives in perspective in such a way that was truly a talent, one of so many talents that he had. And now we're in the position of having to talk about his career and his life and give it some perspective and give it the dignity that he deserves. And I'm at a loss for words. It's just hard to, personally, he was one of my best friends. I mean, we worked together every day for 33 years. It's like 33 years almost to the date that the KTLA Morning News started. And from the beginning, you just knew he was a huge talent. He started off on the morning news. I mean, the show had been on the air a few months, and he came in, or he watched it. He was watching the morning news, and he realized that, you know, it needed an entertainment reporter. And
yeah, he thought he could do it better.
He did. And he was right. We did need an entertainment reporter, and he called up and he convinced the producer at the time to give him a shot, and he came in maybe once or twice a week at the beginning, and then quickly, you know, he was such an important part of the program. I mean, of the 44 minutes that we do every hour, I mean, Sam probably is responsible for about half of that time. And, you know, his genius, there's so many ways that he's so talented. I mean, he could talk about anything. He was great covering entertainment. You know, he would sit on a red carpet and everybody walked by and he would know exactly who they were and what their latest projects were. I mean, it was a remarkable talent that he had. And to keep a broadcast going, a live broadcast going, he always knew exactly what the right thing was to say.
Well, and he could, to that point, Eric, he was with us, and this was his main program, but he also did Australian TV, he did British TV, and he could, on a dime, pivot because he was so well read. He was just so knowledgeable about pop culture and what was going on out there. He couldn't sing or dance or anything like that, but he knew what was going on out there, and could, in an instant, you could ask him about anything, and he would just know, have something to say about it. Now, I didn't always agree with everything he said, and often we thought that he was being ridiculous, but he was such an energetic, genuine, authentic human being, and was so meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had a remarkable sense of humor, just an amazing ability to make people laugh, whether it was, you know, in the stories that he wrote, and he wrote every single story that he read on the air himself. He'd go back to his computer and hammer it out. He wasn't a very good typist.
No, he did the same.
He used two fingers to type. But he wrote everything that came out of his mouth. And a lot of the stuff he didn't write, it just was off the cuff. It was ad-lib. There was nobody better at ad-libbing than he was. And you know what? Once there was an earthquake in the middle of the day, and nobody was at the station but me and Sam. And Sam covered that earthquake, a news story, extremely well. I mean, he was good at everything. I mean, he was literally excellent at everything he tried. He was born to be a broadcaster.
He sure was.
And he was the best broadcaster for entertainment that there is. There's just nobody who compares with him. Not even close. And that's why he was on Australian TV and British TV. And whenever anything happened, people would call him because he was an encyclopedia.
He was.
He had all the knowledge and the history, and he remembered so many things. He was so sharp.
Well, people don't realize how talented he was. His ability to and to also make it entertaining. You know, often the things that would lead his entertainment report had nothing to do with the entertainment report.
Yes.
And, you know, much to the chagrin of his producers and folks who would put some of the segments together, you guys don't know this at home, but there would be a script up there that he would completely ignore. And when he would start, we would be talking about, you know, whatever the topic is, someone's dry cleaning. And he would take that nugget and start with a conversation about dry cleaning that brought you at home into our family.
And he did that in scripts as well with us when we were on set or if we were to fill in. He would include you in there, like, because you mountain bike.
Last week he took Lou because Lou posted a video of her falling in the pool.
Oh, that's right.
And he brought Lou out onto the
that's
set
right.
and he spoke to you about it.
That's
and,
right. And
it was
people
great.
don't think to, some people don't think to do that. And he's like, where's Lou?
Yeah.
And everyone's screaming like,
Yes.
come to, and I'm like,
Yes.
it's not my show yet.
Right.
And they're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
And I came in and he just wanted to know.
Yeah.
He thought it was funny or cute, and then he said happy birthday to Courtney Friel. Like
Right.
he just,
You had been at her birthday
At her
party,
birthday party.
and fell into the pool.
yeah,
off
well,
the,
I didn't fall in the pool. My
Well,
ass
that's how we
deflated, but
told
yeah. You know, those are the comfortable moments, and not only as a professional for him to be able to ad lib that and be able to bring me up and
Yeah.
and talk about it, but as a man, he was a good man.
He sure was.
You just knew he was a good man. He had a beautiful heart,
Yeah.
and you guys say he was really
He
smart.
loved being a dad.
Yes,
just loved
and you
being a
knew
dad.
it, and you
Really
knew
did.
it.
Yeah.
Eric, take us back. You mentioned that you've known him for over 30 years. We know the Sam, like, I've been here, I mean, I've known him for like maybe 18, 19. What was he like 30 years ago? What was the young
He
Sam
had
like?
this kind of impish sense of humor always, and irreverent, always irreverent, skeptical of authority figures in a way that made you like one of the co-conspirators with him. You know, he brought everybody in on the joke. And you know, one of the great things that he did was he took you behind the scenes of what was happening at the TV station.
Yes.
You know, no detail, no little thing about what was happening at work was too small for him to make the lead story of his segment.
Well, in fact, to that end, Eric, as you know, we would often have to say, not for air. Because we would sometimes reveal something that was very personal, and he would immediately, it would come out of my mouth and go out of his onto the air, or all of us experienced that. And so we would learn to say, not for air. And so then he wouldn't. And by the way, when you said not for air, he
honored
respected that.
Yes, he did.
He did respect
Yes,
that.
he honored and respected that. Spilly, you've known him forever. One of the things that you have done forever with him is the MS Bay to Bay bike ride.
Oh my God!
Tell me about his passion about that.
I mean, you know, he must have gone on that ride for 25 years, and he just kept telling me what a great thing it was. You start in Irvine and you ride a bike from Irvine to San Diego. It's 100 miles, and he was passionate about this charity. I don't even think he really, at the beginning, knew a whole lot about MS, but of course, over the years.
All right, I think we've lost Eric, but I can say that every year, Sam led the KTLA team on this ride to raise money and awareness for MS. We have on the phone right now, Spilly, I'm sorry we lost you, but one of the originals of the KTLA 5 Morning News, Carlos Amezcua. Carlos, my friend, it's a horrible day.
Hi, you two. I think this has got to be one of the hardest news I've ever had to hear. You know, we all think of us as being young people. We don't think of ourselves as being near death or having something like this happen. I was completely unprepared.
Yeah. Tell me about your friend, your friend Sam Rubin. Let's start there.
Well, I mean, what can you say about a guy who really made a huge difference in what we were doing professionally? I mean, when we first met him, Barbara and I auditioned him to come on and talk about Hollywood, and he was just so good at what he did and knew the town so well. And, Barbara had come from Florida and I had come from Denver. I was working in Denver at the time, even though I'm a Southern California, and I was working in Denver at the time. And then Mark came from Canada, from some far off land in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia somewhere. and the three of us had no clue what LA was all about. None, zero. We just knew it was a big city and Hollywood was here. And when Sam came on board a couple months later, he connected us to the city in a way that is really immeasurable. he knew everybody. He knew all about the town. He had such passion, and his playfulness and his, he always had sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
He was just childlike in many ways, that's for sure, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he had that
loved
childlike love and passion, and to your point about Los Angeles, he loved to talk about his favorite taco places, or going to uni, or he claimed to have invented the way the proper way to eat a cupcake.
That's right.
And we just laughed every morning with him, every day.
Well, I mean, every single day was a joy, and there was great chemistry between us, and he was so full of stories that I think he was at his best when we challenged him on his nonsense and made him justify his actions, like breaking into Channel 2 with a camera and going live from Channel 2 and then breaking into Channel 9. And I mean, he was just always up to stuff that we would never in a million years think of. And then I have to hand it to him, because we covered the earthquake and the fires, and Sam was out there. He was out there covering the news like a good journalist would cover the news. And my God, I love that guy so much. It's hard for me to even talk about it.
Yeah, it is. Carlos, I want to thank you for spending some time with us.
Sure.
You guys started this thing, and we appreciate you. Another guy who started this thing with Carlos and Barbara Beck, and Eric Spillman and Gail Anderson is jumping on the phone with us in a second. A guy I spend every morning with, just down the table there, Mark Kriske, and we're going to get his thoughts. I've checked in with Jessica, and she is having a tough time.
Yeah.
And I don't know that she'll be able to join us, but Mark is getting on the phone with us, and we're going to talk to him in a second. But
To that
Yes.
point, Jessica, we're having a hard time. It was hard to do the weather earlier. You go into a newsroom, you don't see what the people we spend time with off the camera, but it is dark and it is just horrible out there. People loved him so much, and the tears are flowing here at KTLA today. So I just want everybody to know that he affected you, he touched your lives, he touched all of our lives, and he is going to be sorely missed.
yeah.
Yes, he
All right. Mark Kriske's on the line with us. Mark, you and I have chatted a little bit today about this, but we were both, when I got the call, I said, it can't be.
Yeah.
And I know you had a similar reaction.
Can't be similar. It can't be. This is the guy who we used to defy when he went, especially on those MS bike rides. And we go, oh, come on. He was the fittest guy in the state. He had legs, and he was the fittest guy. But never mind the fittest. Everybody in Hollywood knows Sam Rubin. When we have tapes of Tom Hanks going, oh, Sam Rubin, Skycam 5, and that kind of stuff, and everybody loves him. But the main thing is, he was my friend. He was my, we didn't have to go out to dinner. We didn't have to, socialize. He was just, just true. So, as a matter of fact, he introduced me to my third wife, Samantha Lewis, and he always, said, "Hey, I'm a great matchmaker," and he made the match. The rest was on my own.
How'd that work out? No, I don't mean that.
No, but that's not his. No, but Sam was, the wonderful thing about Sam is he always thought big and dreamt bigger.
Yes.
And Frank, you and I know just even recently, they were talking about our green room and what we can do to step it up.
This was just this week. Just this week.
This is how Sam thought.
There were some
cream in the green room. We haven't got, we got a toaster from a child from a different jump.
Mark, let me tell the story so that people get the full context. Our green room is beautiful, as you know, but it's not full of amenities. And so we have, some nice bagels and cream cheese. We had some station officials looking at the green room to how best to spruce it up. And he said, you know what would be great is if we had an attendant. and he was serious. We kept talking about it the rest of the week. Like, yeah, here's why we should have an attendant.
Okay.
When I do Australian TV, they have an attendant. When I do British TV, there's an attendant. And he described the woman in England who comes out in a smock and offers you avocado toast. And,
Right.
like, where do you think you work? We're at KTLA. We're never going to get an attendant. We can't even get cream for the coffee. So, but that was, Mark, to your point, that was Sam.
That's Sam,
Yeah.
and that's Sam. And the one thing he taught all of us and a lot of people when in the junket circle was never, because a lot of people want to come on and, of course, to talk about their movie or if they're selling a product and that. Sam says, don't talk to them about that. Talk to them about everything else, and then at the end, let them plug their movie. And that's what Sam did. That's what we all did.
His rule was don't talk about the movie at the junket, which of course drove publicists crazy.
Right.
Mark, you mentioned the Tom Hanks thing. If people haven't seen it, let's roll the tape so that people see how the big stars knew Sam Rubin.
Well, if it isn't the man who owns Skycopter 5, the helicopter, the eye of Channel 5, KTLA, Sam Rubin, ladies and gentlemen, a man with his finger on the pulse. Put your finger on the pulse. All right. On the pulse of show business. Oh, yes. He's got the lifeblood of Hollywood coursing through his veins, honey. How are you, sir?
Very well. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
We refer to your husband as morning news viewer Tom Hanks. With morning news viewer Tom Hanks. Is that the, forget all these awards, is that the best accolade?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And he's been that for a long time.
It's on mute till your minute comes up. Then it's right up to 47 on the volume knob.
You were wonderfully eloquent at the Golden Globes. That was just so fantastic. That was
thank
great.
you.
Do you feel Robert De Niro feels that breathing on his neck tonight?
No, I don't think so. I had time to plan, and I also was a somnambulist due to my cold medication. Right. I'm not sure what I said, but people have said I didn't embarrass myself, so I'm ahead of the game. I think our brothers and sisters in the One Screen Actors Guild Federation are not pushovers. This is not a press event. This is not critics who get together and vote about it. This is the people who are the professional pursuers of the dream of being able to perform. So I think as far as the awards on a night like this, it's literally pick 'em. Anything can happen.
I think the eruption tonight is if Parasite wins Best Ensemble Cast.
That is, without a doubt, a very
great performance.
And I remember, great Swami of the business of show, that you said when I was on our program, you said 3D ain't gonna last.
The current state of movies is bleak, and that 2011 has featured a slew of bad movies and bad movies in 3D.
And who was right there, Sam Rubin? You were. 3D exists, but not in the way not the altering aspect the way it was supposed to happen. Listen to this man. If you want AccuWeather, well, listen to that weather guy. But if you want the lifeblood of the business of show, let's spell it out. SAMRUBIN. It's Sam Rubin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Wow.
How about that?
I mean, that says it.
How about that? And speaking of the weather guy, I think he was talking about you, Mark.